In this video, we're going to look at the idea of animation. We're going to take the graphics that we talked about last and do some real basic stuff with that. If you look here, I have new things introducing this time, and they're timer 1 and timer 2. And if you notice, they're listed down here. They're actually part of the form, but since they're not visible to the user, they kind of show up down here. Well, if I'm on the form and go over to Toolbox, and I go to All, my timers are right down here. All you simply have to do is grab, drag over, and as you can see, timer 3 shows up. Let's look at what we have though so far. There's some basic stuff. I declared 3 variables. The first one was just simply integer 1, then integer 2, and then a total. All I'm going to do is a Fibonacci sequence here. What I have is when the form loads up, things are going to be added to the list box, int 1 and int 2. And then from there, with timer 1, the background is going to oscillate between gold and green. And for timer 2, every time there's a tick, it's going to continue to add another number to the list. So we're going to see 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, and a Fibonacci sequence throughout. Notice what it says over here. It says handles. All it's saying is when the timer ticks, and the timer is like a clock, it's going to tick. If you imagine a clock every second, you hear tick, tick. It's exactly how a timer works. If I go down here, select this, and go to Properties from my timer, you can actually see where it says interval. When I do this, I'm going to start out with 1,000. Let me just look at the pace of that. And as you can see, all the numbers are just popping up. I'm not clicking anything else. It's doing it on its own. And it'll keep going as long as I let it. If instead I change this, let's say I change it to 500. Whoops. Now the question is, am I going to get faster or am I going to get slower? Notice I've changed timer 1. And we know with timer 1, that had to do with the background color. So now you'll see this flash a lot faster. Okay. What we're basically saying to this, I want you to go every half a second. And if I want to change it even farther, if I really want to change things, I change it to 50. And that's all my timer is going to do. Let's go to a different program here. Let's look at one that actually has graphics in it. So in this case, if we look at my design, I have a button that's draw face. In that, it's actually just going to use an ellipse, it's going to use some points, and it's actually just going to draw a human face. Once the timer is clicked, or the program starts and the timer goes, what's going to end up happening here is the eyes are going to blink open and shut. Notice I have a stop and start button, and that's basically just going to say, if the buttons start, get the timer enabled and get it to run. If the button's a stop, then actually stop the timer so nothing actually happens. So you can stop the blinking of the eyes. Form loads up. Draw face. There's my face. If I want the eyes to start blinking, I stop it. If I come down and look at the code, as you can see, there's my draw face code. Down here is the blinking code. If you want to take a closer eye at this, pause the video and go ahead and glance and see what all this is. There's just some fill ellipses, draw ellipses, and down here I do the exact same thing. I just change the colors around a little bit. That's why you'll notice, real simple, those black circles remain around the eyes. The other thing to look at in this program, again, we're talking about the timer aspect of things. I can change this if I want to. If I want the eyes to blink a lot faster, I cut the time in half. The eyes will blink faster. You can control how fast this blinks or how fast it doesn't blink. If I really want them to blink fast, let's go to 50. There we go. So now what you want to think of when you talk about animation in these programs is that what we're actually going to look at is just a series of, like I did here, we're just going to redraw the same picture over and over again and let the timer decide where it's going to be placed. So here's a real simple one I have. If I want recognize to be drawn, all I have this program doing is drawing rectangles over and over and over again, and it's based on timer number 1. I can stop it whenever I want to. Maybe I want the rectangles to go away completely so I can have my ball bounce. All I have is a circle. My timer is saying every time something happens, every time a tick is done, which I have my timer set up 200, so basically 0.2 or 0.2 of a second, this ball is going to bounce. Nothing fancy, and it's going to reset. This is the idea of what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to take the same picture and redraw it, maybe slightly differently. Let's look at some other demonstrations. These are 2 from last year that I think were pretty good. Again, not much difference. As that timer clicks, ball's just rolling down, just like bowling. And we can reset it as many times as we want. The other program real simple. He drew a couple things and he has the snow coming down. Nothing fancy, they're just moving down in a vertical way. You could have it bounce around, make it a little more fun. And stop it. So when we talk about this animation, it's just the idea of taking a graphic, changing it slightly. Again, you look at this program. The person doesn't change, but the arm moves around a little bit, and you watch the ball roll down. No real changes here, except the idea that this is being written or drawn at a very fast pace, so it looks like the ball is actually traveling.